right? Everyone is talking about the price of rice. Everyone is talking about there is no rice to be bought. We organized a memorandum handover in front of Parliament. And what we wanted to do was that we wanted to bring the voice of the affected farmers from Perak and also different communities and the advocacy to parliamentarians, to the Prime Minister's office, and of course to the Minister's office. So that was what we organized on the 12th of September. The reason why we wanted to do on the 12th of September was because it was the debate of RMK ke-12, Rancangan Malaysia ke-12, which is essentially a review of the Malaysia plan and whether it is implemented well. And under the Malaysian plan, there is elements to discuss the agro economy, to discuss food security. So we felt that why are we simply discussing food security from a high level, from just stats and data, without looking at the lived experiences of farmers and without trying to understand the underlying causes of what we are facing. Just to share a very worrying statistic, our food import bill increased massively last year. It went up to almost 76 billion ringgit. If you look at our total investment and budget, our total budget in Malaysia on a yearly basis is roughly 300 billion ringgit. So imagine that we are having an outflow of Malaysian currency of 76 billion ringgit on just for last year alone, right? Huge amount of loss for the country. You look at what's happening this week, right? Everyone is talking about the price of rice. Everyone is talking about there is no rice to be bought. Everyone is saying that, hey, where everything is so expensive and just buying food is so expensive. So for us, I think it's a very important discussion and very important debate that we must have about our country. And I think it's so important that we start to think about agriculture and food production as a key industry that we must protect, that we must defend, and that we must heavily invest in. Not only on a state level, because land is often seen as a state government issue, but also on a federal government in terms of setting laws, setting incentive structures, and also coordinating with various state governments so that we do not face this massive import bill, and also we do not continue to have food insecurity and the lack of food in grocery stores. I think this is an issue that affects all of us, not just the farmers. That's why we came down and we wanted to give a memorandum to the parliamentarians. So we have already spoken and we already communicated to Parliament saying that we will be doing this, and we've already communicated with a few parliamentarians to come and pick it up to us, pick up the memorandum from us. However, what happened on the day was something unexpected, because I've been an activist for a while now. I've delivered many memorandums. We've done this in a manner that is very peaceful, very calm, very professional, many times in the past, right? Even for us, we understand that the police need to maintain security and safety, and we are okay to work together, right? Because in the end, it's not about creating drama, it's about delivering a message to the relevant parliamentarians and make sure that they understand that these are stakeholders and issues that they have to take into account. That's the whole purpose.
So right now it's Tharma and myself working on Lawan Lapar, but we also have brought in different people from our respective organizations. From Undi 18, there have been people who have come in to help from the FORF as well, and some of them have volunteered their time to help with this. We also work with some other activists on the ground in Perak and with the farmers' organizations, with the president of some of these farmers' associations as well. So we do engage with them, we consult with them, and they are a big part of the campaign's strategy. The main aim of Lawan Lapar is to end hunger in Malaysia by defending food-producing communities' rights, right? So that means the rights of farmers, of fishers, of cattle farmers, and many times these are smallholder farmers, right? Who have done this for generations. In many cases, they are not particularly wealthy, and sometimes they are not aware of the land rights that they have. That makes them very vulnerable to big corporations, sometimes state government-linked companies as well, to take over lands, to do things that kind of put them in a corner. And we've seen this time and time again across Malaysia. So of course, with this particular campaign at the start, we're looking at what's happening in Perak, because that's where it's most urgent. There is a spate of evictions that are going on there, and we really wanted to look into it. But this happens across the country. So we want to make sure that we help these food-producing communities Tharma will help, and Undi 18 will help in terms of their legal advocacy, in terms of helping them understand what their rights are, and also pushing that all the way to Parliament, which obviously is what they do best. And on our part is really to tell their stories, to show behind the numbers that are being touted sometimes by the government or state governments, to say, oh, we're food secure, we're fine, we're on track to this and that. We're doing this and doing that in terms of developing the land for other purposes that are great for the economy. We want to show the reality, the lived reality of a lot of these communities, a lot of these poor farmers, poor fishers who are losing their livelihoods, who are losing their culture. To many of them, their identity is tied with being a fisher. Like, this is what I've done my whole life. This is what my grandparents did, my great-grandparents did. These farmlands is the land that my grandfather tilled with his bare hands. And I'm hearing things like that being said to me. And I feel the rest of the country needs to hear that as well. Instead of just saying, well, we can just develop it for a high-tech industrial park and it's going to create so many jobs. It's going to be all these economic benefits. But I think we need to hear the farmer stories as well to make sure that people get a real picture and that these people don't get sidelined just for expediency of the economy.